So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and this is the the clinically obese Japanese tier 8 super heavy tank. Yeah, alright, I'm going to have a lie down in a minute. Yeah, this is the monster at tier 8 that you get to as you head down the Japanese heavy line. So let's have a quick look at that. Most people will be pretty familiar with this line. Starts off with this standard tier 1, you go through a medium, then your first heavy, which is at tier 3, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is the first or the earliest in terms of tiering heavy tank in the game, but it is awful. The Type 95, which is almost as awful. The OI experimental, which was ridiculously overpowered. They apparently nerfed it. Well, they did nerf it stats wise. It's still pretty darn good if you ask me. The OI, which was similarly nerfed, and the ONI, which I really enjoyed too, even though everyone said it was rubbish. And then on to the OHO, which I love. I absolutely adore this tank. Now, one of the things I will say about this tank is the way I play it. I freely admit, as a Joe average player, this is very noob friendly, this vehicle. Very noob friendly. I have played an awful lot of games in this, and I'm now running 57% win rate, average damage of about 1290. And bear in mind, this is obviously a tier 8 tank and will see tier 10 matches, so it can be a little bit challenging. However, I have a secret weapon. We'll get onto that in a minute. Let's have a quick look at the grind on this thing. A bit like all the Japanese tanks, it's not actually too bad. You will need to get the tracks fairly early on, but you have the same engine as it has in the previous one. I believe the radio is the same as well, but who cares about radios. Then you have a selection of 3 different guns. Oops. Let's move that out of the way so I can actually see. So the first gun that you get with the tank is this, oh come on, move it, there you go, is this 10cm canon Type 92, which is the same one as you get on the OI and the ONI. And it's pretty pathetic. 75mm penetration on a heavy tank gun. Yeah, thank you. But luckily you've already unlocked the 15cm howitzer, the Type 96, which is also on the OI and the ONI. ONI is a lot better on the OHO. So you have this effective gun already. It's a derp gun. But it's a very, very good derp gun. And then the top gun is this upgraded 10cm gun, which I think goes on to the next tank, into the Type 4. Quick look. Oh no, it's a different one again. Okay, so it's a unique gun. So, yeah, so it's kind of a nice grind. You don't have an awful lot to work your way through. Let me just shut those down so we can actually see what we're doing. You get 2 guns from the beginning without any kind of experience upgrade. You get the top engines because they're the same ones. I don't know about, let's have a quick look at the radio. Yep, same radio as you've got if you've already worked your way down. Actually, it's the same radio if you've been down the medium line, so it's not quite the same. But, you know, nobody really cares about radios, right? Except when you can't spot anything. So it's really just the tracks you need to get onto. And as I recall, I actually managed to run with suspension mod to make that work. So I didn't even need that. So, what about this beastie? Fine looking thing, isn't it? Look at it. Monster. Of course it's not real. It's a paper tank. It was a design that was never put into reality. It was a design that the Japanese seemed to head down, was these big land battleships, really, and that's what this is. And you have to play it like a battleship, I feel. So equipment wise, I've got gun rammer, I've got vertical stabilizers because that helps with the aim time, and I have a super heavy spool liner. Now there's a case for putting vents on it, but being that this is bloody enormous, it's almost the size of Australia, I think, it's an arty magnet, and anything that helps you survive hits from artillery is good in my book, so that's why I put the spool liner on. Let's have a look at some of the stats before we go much further. So I'm going to look at it in here, because when you look at it on the garage thing, it changes everything according to the crew you've got. So I want to see what the standards are. So rate of fire, 4. We'll come back to the rate of fire and all that sort of thing. So hit points, 1,700 hit points, which is the second highest tier 8 hit points, tank with hit points. I believe it's just the KV5 has a few more hit points, so it's got a really good hit point pool, and it needs it because it's a big ass tank, and the way you play this thing is to brawl and get in the face of the enemy, and therefore you need to take a few smacks because they're going to be giving it to you. So the more hit points you've got, the longer you can survive in that kind of environment. Hull armor, frontal armor is 200 millimeters of frontal armor, which is pretty darn good. Let's go back to the vehicle again. It's bobbly, and it's here we go. It's at the front. The armor is actually, there is a bit of sloping here. That lower plate is fairly well sloped. There's a nice band around here which is quite flat, but 200 millimeters of armor is not bad at all. And some people make the mistake of aiming for the off-center boobies here, these turrets, thinking that they're weak spots. They're not. It's not like the KV5. These things are not weak spots, and because they are rounded more than the rest of the hull, they're more likely to bounce the shots. So 200 millimeters on the hull armor front, 105 at the side, which is its weakness, and 150 at the rear. So the rear armor is pretty reasonable. It's a bit flat, which is not great, but the side is the weakness of this thing. It's flat as a pancake, look at that. And 105 millimeters of armor, if that was sloped, would be pretty effective, but given the fact it's flat, yeah, it's not so good. And this tank is made up of flat panels, so you know, when you get to fire at this, you know, firing with a high pen gun straight into this turret side on, flat on, will almost always pen. Same with this middle band. It may be 200 mils, but it's pretty flat there. So yeah, that's your challenge in this tank. Turret armor is 200 millimeters all around, so that's pretty good. So, but there are guns out there that can pen 200 millimeters. So yeah, but this thing has a good turret, and it will bounce shots. It will bounce shots everywhere. It's got some of the thickest armor you'll find on any heavy tank in the game. Engine power of 1,200 horsepower gives it a pretty reasonable, for the size of tank, a pretty reasonable top speed of 25 kph forward and 10 in reverse. Now it's no spring chicken. It's not going to dive around the battlefield like, I don't know, something else, but it will keep up reasonably well. So it's not like one of those, a T-28 or some of the British heavy tanks that are really slow, the Matilda, Black Prince, that sort of thing. This thing will move along reasonably well. It ain't going to be right in the front line unless nobody's there with you. Traverse speed is basically 21 degrees per second, so it's not great on that, but you wouldn't expect it to. It's the friggin' size of a continent. So view range is a respectable 400 meters, which is pretty good, and signal range with the top engine is 700 plus 780, which is again very good. Now, as you'd expect with a tank this big, your camo values are absolutely rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. So the other thing to say about this tank is those boobies. So you can see with this gun how little clearance there is above that boobie. And that means that the gun depression on this tank, while it says it's got -10 degrees, it's lying. It cannot get 10 degrees straight forward, because look, that turret stops it going anywhere, and it's the same across the left side of the tank. This booby gets in the way. Ironically, across the right, fine, you'll get your 10 degrees. Across the, oh, they're coming to get me. Across the side of the tank, you'll get 10 degrees. Across the back, because there's another turret there, you'll get diddly squad. So -10 on the sides and across this. So really, your ideal position in this tank is to come up with a bit of terrain or something covering your side here, and you're aiming out to the right, because that's where the gap is in your boobies, because they're off center like that, they're misshapen. So that's the gun depression. Yeah, so that can be a problem. The other thing is, because you are so high, a very short tank like an ELC or something like that can get under your gun, and there is just no way you can take it out. You have to try and ram it, you have to try and push it away. Obviously this thing weighs a massive amount. Let me find the weight. Where's the weight? I can't remember. Bear with. Here we go. So it's 122 tons. So it's a massive, massive thing. So if you can catch something and ram it, you will absolutely destroy it. Even heavy tanks will struggle to deal with that kind of pace, especially if you've got a spool liner. You'll hit it and you'll kill it, or you'll seriously damage it. But little light tanks, or even very small medium tanks, sometimes can get into the shadow, if you like, of the tank. And because it is so high, and because the gun has to get depressed, well, you can see if that gun turns round, it's not going to be able to hit anything till about here. So if you can get underneath it and in here, and I've seen this before, I've had it done to me before, where something like an ELC does that, and you just rely on your team helping you, because you can't do anything about it. Or if you're lucky, you're in a city and you can ram yourself up against a wall and hope that you either squash the ELC or he gives up and goes somewhere else. So let's have a look at the guns next. So I showed you briefly what you have in this tank. You have the startup gun, which is rubbish, and I would not recommend running that gun at all. You have the 15 centimeter howitzer, which you'll see I carry all the time on this tank. It has a rate of fire of 3.5 rounds per minute with this screw, which is pretty good. Penetration with AP of 121, which is CAC, 150 with heat, which is also CAC, and 75 with HE. But it doesn't matter, because if you fire HE pretty much exclusively, which is what I do, you can see here in my one I have 40 rounds of HE, 13 of heat and 7 of AP. Don't even know why I use AP. I can't remember the last time I used it. I load HE and I trundle along, because even when you don't pen an enemy tank, the effect of a 150mm HE shell hitting their frontal plate, or anywhere for that matter on the tank, means that you will typically do, without penetrating, 300 odd damage each shot. And if you miraculously manage to penetrate something, 910 is the average damage. So that's why I like using the 15 centimeter. It's pretty rapid firing for a big ass gun, and it will dish out damage. Now, bearing in mind this tank is a tier 8 heavy, so it will see tier 10 matches. Now, when you've got, I don't care what the armor is, you can be a Jagdpanzer E100 and you get hit by an HE shell from one of these 150mm, it will discomfort you, it will scratch your paintwork, it will do damage. And that's why I like this gun, because I feel that even in a tier 10 matchup, you will do damage. You will knock out modules, you'll knock out crew members, and you'll consistently rack up damage. Whereas I find that the supposedly top gun, the tier 10, the 10 centimeter gun here on the left, while it is on paper a far better gun, it's only good in its own tier, or maybe a tier 9 game. If you get a tier 10, it's really hard to do very much in this with this gun. It has a much quicker rate of fire, 6.45 rounds per minute, which for a 100mm gun effectively is pretty good. Interestingly, it carries no premium at all. So its standard AP is 215 pen, which it sounds a lot, but given the fact this gun is not very accurate, 215 is pretty tough. Now I would rather have, so 215 and does an average damage of 330. Now my average damage with the HE shell using the 150mm is around 250 to 350. So I think this makes no sense in my book, apart from the fact it's it's a lot quicker reloading. I prefer the guaranteed damage of the 150mm with HE over this 100mm anti-tank gun. That's my personal feeling. So yeah, 215 damage, 215 pen for 330 average damage. HE is 53 for 430. But given the fact you are a third smaller shell, you're not going to do as much damage with the HE anyway, if you're firing the 10cm. Aim time on the 10cm is 3.1, which is not great. On the 15cm is 3.3, which is even worse. But you've got a long time to wait for the shell to load, so that's what it is. So there you go. That is the it's beauties in the eye of the beholder. I think this is beautiful, this tank. I really like playing this. It's one of my favorite tanks. I was not planning to push on and down the Japanese super heavy line as much as I have, because all the reviews I'd read said they were rubbish, but as I've gone further down, I've loved it more and more and more. And you can see I have unlocked the next tank, the type whatever it is, type 4 super heavy. So yeah, they are type 4, just waiting to have the credits. Not far off being able to buy that. So yeah, and this is one of the tanks I really enjoy playing. So let's take it out, see what we can do with it, and I'll show you how I play it. Okay, so we are on Ensk in a tier 10 game. So good thing is there's no artillery, which is a very good thing when you're in a thing the size of this. So I'm going to head down. I'm going to see what I can do to support my heavies. Excuse me. Playing this one as live. Well, I am live. I'm doing it right now. So we'll see what comes out of it. You're never quite sure when you play it like this, but you get to see the authentic gamer Dom playing like a complete noob. Oh, E100 just driving straight down the middle. That's okay. Good plan. Like it. Like it lots. Okay, so there's an E100 there as well. Didn't realise there were two of them. Can we get a shot through that tiny gap there? Not much of a gap, but even so, we hit the side of an E100 and did 100 damage. I was hoping I'd track him actually. That would have been lovely. Come on, pull back again. You know you want to. Loading in 4.5 seconds. Missed him that time. That's a shame. There was a mouse as well. Didn't realise that. I would like to go and help out my team there, but they seem to have blocked the road. Oh, there's a mouse. Let's go and find the mouse. That's what I like about playing this tank with the derp gun, because I feel I can actually go and do something to something like a mouse or a... I just find otherwise... Oh, what are you doing? Oh, been spotted by something. Oh, a scorpion. Not much going on in terms of damage, but something at least. And you see, if I was using the 10cm, I wouldn't be able to pen him. I wouldn't be able to do anything to him. Oh, even couldn't side scrape against him. Come on, you know you want to, mister. Not even loaded yet. Come on, Scorpion. There we go. Can I bounce his shot? Oh, I can even bounce his shot. Better still. Ah, couldn't load in time. It's a shame. Okay, let's go and see if we can help the boys up round here. Damn, I was going for the tracking shot when I missed it. Oh, I think I made him angry. Yep, I made him angry. Tracked him there, hopefully. Again. You pull him back. Ah, didn't do it. Oh, and I bounced an E100. Wow. Thank you, Mr. T10. Tracked him again. Can I reload before he repairs? Come on. Yeah, shit. Shit. Done him again. Yes, beauty. And that's why I love playing this with the derp gun. That's so much fun. He just can't deal with you. He's not very happy, but you know, tough really. But it's just how you have to play this thing, because the trouble is if you're using the 10 centimeter, I would have been banged to rights there, absolutely banged to rights. Where is he? Can't go. Don't want to risk a shot. Come on, give me a shot. E100 is just bulldozing him. I was trying to aim for the weak patch, but no joy. Can I get the kill? Please give me the kill. Yay, you beauty. And he's going a lucky. Yeah, right. Every time I tracked you, it was pure luck, buddy. That was a great game. And that, you see, that is an absolute case in point why I like to use the derp gun. Because if that had been the 10 centimeter gun, there's no way I would have survived that encounter. An E100, a mouse, another Jag Panther E100, I mean, they're just going to wreck you. Whereas at least with that derp gun, with a pretty good crew, yeah, very good crew in fact, I can reload almost as quickly as they can repair their tracks, unless they've got a hell of a good crew. And I finished top on the team there. 2,789 damage, 2 kills, 1,200 base XP. It was only worth a first class, so people are playing this tank bloody well. And I have to say, I play this tank pretty well. I'm quite happy to say that. But I haven't yet got an ace tanker in it. I really haven't. Maybe if I got a few more kills in that game, I might have had a chance for it, but whatever. We got shell proof, surprise surprise, we got fire for effect, and we got bruiser. Finished, as I say, top on my team for base XP. 15 shots fired, 14 of which hit, 13 of which did damage, and 1 lot of splash damage. 2,700 damage, took 5 hits, 2 of which penned, 3 didn't. Very lucky to bounce the E100 shot. 2,000 damage blocked, yeah, well. 900 assistance, that's primarily from tracking damage, I guess, from when I tracked him, the damage that was caused to him as a result of that. 50,000 credits. It was a tier 10 match, and we were firing a lot of tier 10 tanks, so lots of money to be made out of that one. 33,500 credits at the end of the game. Gave me just shy of 1,900 XP, which is rather good. So that's the oh-ho. Let's try it one more time, shall we? See if we can get another good game. Maybe one where we're top tier. So sadly no tier 8 game for us. It looks like it's going to be tier 10s, but never mind. As I said before, I don't mind fighting tier 10s in this, because there's no real expectation. If you can do as good as I did in that last one, then, you know, it's great news. So it's a tier 10 game. Obviously there's an awful lot of TDs on the enemy side. That's the bit that worries me, and now this is the thing that is particularly nerve-wracking for an OHO driver when you are on Lakefield, because I've got to try and get across to the city. I'm no use to man of beast in the down the hidden valley. I'm too slow. Missed him. But the trouble is you get spotted very easily along here. But it looks like they haven't put their scouts out, which is rather lucky. So it looks like there's an IS-4. Someone's already moaning about aimbot. Yeah, right. Every time you get hit by somebody, it must have been aimbot. Only thing it possibly can be. So you can turret traverse on this thing is pretty slow. That looks like it was in roughly the right direction. Come on, if I can get some splash on him, I should kill him. Ah, he moved. Let's see if we can get another shot. I'm just laying down HE really. Okay, that back chat needs help. It's a bit risky to come this far south, but I need to get down and help that back chat out. And I'm hoping that the grill is being otherwise engaged with the... oh, been spotted. Managed to get around that bit there, which is... So we're going to fire that IS-4, try and track him in place so that the rest of our team can work him over. Come on, reload. 14.5 second reload. think we've done him again. At least I hope so. I think he's virtually done. Yeah, there we go. He's down. He's down. Now, the only slightly worrying thing is that the bounce the 103, which is nice. Struggling here to get my booby, to get my gun down. There is arty, so we need to be careful of arty. Let me through, don't block me please. Ow! IS-3? Where the friggin' hell's an IS-3? IS-3 must be camping, because why not? I'm going to support this E5, not that he probably needs my help, but I need the back damage because I haven't done very much. Pretty sure there'll be something sitting. Oh yeah, we. Bounced his shot. He's gone. Artiller's hidden behind the hill. .300 damage on the grill. How come you can't? They're supposed to be lightweight, those things, and yet I never seem to get a full penetrating hit on them. Tracked him as well, and there you go, game over. Good night, Vienna. So 1300 damage, not particularly great game, but you know, we did what we did. We took a shot from the girlfriend firing premium into the side of me. Didn't need premium to pen me, but anyway, whatever, I can't complain. It was a scout and it did what it did. So third class mastery this time. Bruiser finished third on the team actually, which is surprising. 1300 damage, 1 kill, 685 base XP, 11 shots fired, only 6 of them hit this time. Got 2 pens, which is 2 splashes, which is also good. Took 5 hits, only 2 of which penetrated, and bounced 800 damage. So we bounced a couple of big guns, and you can see if you allow the enemy to fire at that flat strip along the front, if you got your frontal armor towards the enemy like this, they're going to aim here and going to hit you. You can see I was trying to keep moving, so wiggling the tank a bit, and if they end up, when their shot hits and it's at an angle like that, that becomes a bit more effective armor. So that's what I was trying to do, and it seems to work. So where was I? We made 26,500 credits. Profit wise only 13,500 roughly. 1000 XP, near enough. So there you go, that is the OHO, the clinically obese tier 8 Japanese super heavy tank. I love it to bits. I like my girls big, so there you go. That's why I love this tank. I can't wait to try the next tank, the Type 4. As you saw, I've unlocked it. I just haven't paid for it yet. 3,700,000. Not far off it. So when I've done, when I've got the chance, I'll unlock that or buy that and start to use it. I played a game today actually on the test server using it, so, and it was bloody fun. Anyway, this has been Gamer Dom. Thanks for watching. Please, if you enjoyed the video, click like and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Let me know what you think of the Japanese tanks. People seem to love them, or they seem to hate them. They're definitely Marmite tanks, the super heavies anyway. Personally, I really enjoy them. I don't know why, because normally I like lightly armoured, fast-moving tanks, and this thing is pretty much the mirror opposite of the sort of tanks I generally like. So, but it's fun. So, on that bombshell, I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your games, have fun. Remember, it's just a game, and I'll see you again soon. Gamer Dom.